Hey guys, today's video is going to be my top 5 favorite movie villains. So, I'm not going to lie, these aren't villains that I love to hate. These are just villains that I basically love. Or they're characters that I love. There are a few on here that are just like despicable, but they're just, I don't know, they just have that certain thing that makes them somewhat lovable. But yes, so this is going to be the one for movies, and I'm also going to do one for TV shows. So, let's get started. I have 2 honorable mentions, and the first one is Sean Bean as Ian on National Treasure, the first movie. I know a lot of people don't like that movie, but I actually really enjoy those movies, the National Treasure movies. I honestly wish they'd make more because they're just kind of like interesting and adventurous. And Ian, played by Sean Bean, as I said, was just he was just that like typical opponent, nemesis kind of guy, but with like an evil twist, and I just really enjoyed that character. I thought that he was just like such a good rivalry towards the main character, which was Nicolas Cage's character, and I just found it really exciting to watch. And he just, you know, his counter moves and moves were just awesome, and I really enjoyed that movie because of him. The last honorable mention is Benedict Cumberbatch playing Khan in Star Trek Into Darkness. I really couldn't go with this list without mentioning Benedict Cumberbatch because he is my man crush every day and I love him so much. And he was really, really good in Star Trek. That's one of my favorite all-time movies, and I just found him amazing in it. I was totally rooting for him the whole time, even though I love the whole Star Trek cast. He just was such a good Khan, and he was just so like evil, but in a totally badass way, and it was just amazing. That brings us to the number 5 pick on my top 5 villains for movies, and that is Helena Bonham Carter playing Bellatrix Lestrange in the Harry Potter series. She's obviously amazing. She is so evil, so criminally insane, like obviously, but she is just so like, she's kind of like a comedic character, and you just hate her so much, but she's Bellatrix. You can't not appreciate that character, so she is definitely my number 5. Number 4 is Geoffrey Rush playing Captain Barbossa in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I think he was in all 4 of them. He may have just been in 3, but I think he was in all 4, and he is just super cool. He is such an amazing pirate. He just has that level of like swag almost. He is just so cool about everything and so suave, and like nothing worries him. He just knows what's going on, and he just keeps like coming back. Like he's unbeatable basically, and he ends up being helpful in the end, and it's just really amazing. I love Geoffrey Rush as that character, and he was just such a good villain for Captain Jack to go against, especially in the first movie and then on later in the other movies if you've seen it. Bringing us to number 3 is Philip Seymour Hoffman as Owen Davian, I believe, in the Mission Impossible 3 movie. He is so despicable. I chose this because this character has literally stayed with me since the first time I ever saw MI3. He is just so evil and creepy and scary, and the way Philip Seymour Hoffman played this character was just like perfect. This is where I think of a villain, I honestly think of this guy, because he is just manipulative, he is smart, and he is crazy, and it's really scary, honestly. So he's definitely on this list. My number 1 and 2 were really hard to pick, but I had to put it in this order. When it came down to it, I knew. Number 2 is Heath Ledger playing the Joker. Obviously, he won a freaking Oscar for this movie. He was phenomenal. The Dark Knight is one of my favorite movies of all time, and Heath Ledger was just an amazing Joker. He obviously he lived and breathed this character at all times, and it was just so like, the Joker was so sick and creepy and crazy, but he was hilarious, smart, innovative, and just all around very entertaining to watch. And I love Heath Ledger, I love the Joker, I love Batman. It was everything I love in one movie. And that brings us to number 1. To me, this was obvious. When I was making this list, I automatically put this as number 1, and that is Tom Hiddleston playing Loki in the Avengers and Thor 1 and 2. Loki is just Loki. He's hilarious. You just feel so much. He is so complex and misunderstood, and you just cannot help but love him. He's so evil, so twisted. He's just honestly kind of a psycho, but so lovable. I feel for him. I feel so bad for him. I'm so sensitive towards him because he is just such a complex character, and his backstory is amazing. I hope he's in the next Avengers movie. I don't think he's gonna be, but I really hope he is. And Tom Hiddleston just is the most amazing Loki in the world. He just definitely brings that character to life in the best way possible, and I appreciate Loki. Out of every villain, he is for sure my favorite. I couldn't pick any other character on the top of this list. So definitely Loki is my number 1. So those are my top 5 villains. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to know your top 5 villains, and I will be coming at you probably next week with the top 5 villains on TV for me. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see all of you later. Bye!